Hello, I'm Steve Watson here at Someday Farm. Welcome. Today's Tàijíquán Tip. This is perhaps the most important tip that ever there will have been. I'm just going to give you a moment to take a seat and get settled in, get your notebook, really take this in. Very often what students do is they say, I wonder if, and perhaps if I, and maybe I could, and why don't we, and here's an idea, and here's a thought, and why shouldn't, and can't I, and could it be that? Sometimes this is driven by the creative process. Sometimes it's driven by an egocentric process, like an over-reliance on the ego. Sometimes it's driven by uncertainty, like poor note-taking, poor practice disciplines. But, and here comes the tip, my advice, and this is going to seem out of left field, completely weird, probably something you've never tried before, but this is advice that goes out far and wide to everybody all the time in their practice. So I'm sure you have your fountain pen and your parchment. The advice is this. Today's Tàijíquán Tip. Try, see, even I'm starting to say it and it just sounds so otherworldly and strange and odd and unexpected and novel, crazy. But you know what? I'm still going to give the tip. I just still have to give it. Today's Tàijíquán Tip. Please, when you're stuck, when you're confused, when you're working on something, when you're challenged by something, try doing what your teacher suggested. I know you're going to try all the other things, and you're used to trying them all first. But it's just an idea. Maybe what your teacher suggested would be the advice that you could take. And maybe it's not just because it's the last advice that you happen upon after the dump truck full of other advice, suggestions, creativities that you came up with. Just an idea, but maybe you're with a teacher, they gave advice, try that. Try it that way, right? Once you figure out how to do this stuff, you'll inevitably hear your teacher's voice echoing in you. And I've had students 17 years in say, oh, I got it now. It's just what you've always been saying. Oh, yeah, really. It's just what it says in the classics. It's just what my first teacher said 36 years ago. It's what you say every class. It's what you said at the beginning of class. It's what you said when we first learned this move. Really? Yeah. So now that you've done all the other ways of doing it, tried them all out, you happen on what you paid for, the advice you paid for, right? The initial advice. So it's just, I know it's crazy, weird, odd, novel, but my advice is just perhaps, just maybe, and perhaps even first, try doing what your teacher advised. Thank you very much.